Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Tonight we are back with a brand new review of Love After Lockup. Child, this episode this episode was a fool. Do y'all hear me? Alright, child, let's not waste any more time. Please like, subscribe, comment down below when you get done listening, honey. Let's get into it if we gonna get into it. So Lisa wakes up in the hotel after her riff with drunk Stan, still bald, okay? She's telling us she's over the wig and over it all. Child, we've been over that wig when you put it on, okay? She says she put 8 months into the relationship and it went to crap when her son called, right? You know what? Lisa stayed doing some time with no reward. 8 months with Stan? Ooh, child, honey, I'd rather spend 8 months locked up, child. She says she's trying to be a better mom and she doesn't need someone knocking her down when she's trying to do better, right? I kind of felt sad for Lisa in this moment because she was actually crying. Now, I don't know if she's scamming or not because, you know, the scammers can cry on cue. So I don't know if this was a cry or if this was a cry for help. Moving forward. While Lisa over there crying, Stan in his wig over there dusting the car. I'm like, what is this Swiffer wet jet sweeper thing you using? And he still had on his pajamas. Honey, Stan is a walking disaster. Do y'all hear me? So his friend stopped by and he's like, hey, why haven't I heard from you? He said, you know, last night was terrible. Her son called and I told her she wasn't a good mom. Stan, you little twerp. You leave that lady alone, honey. You see she trying to get back on her feet, honey. She don't know a head from a hole in the wall. His friend was like, well, that wasn't the right thing to do. Honey, you think? His friend was like, well, cut her some slack. You know, she just got out, so her kids are on her mind, and they will be on your mind, too, if you just got out. His friend is the voice of reason. Okay? He really needs to listen to that friend. So then in the next scene, Lisa goes into the salon, and her friend, who was really a foe, honey, because when she walked out looking how she was looking, you could not call yourself my friend if you had me looking like that. So her friend is like, good to see you, but not good to see that hair. She said, what happened? She said, I got in a fight and they pulled it out. Lisa, now, I don't know what type of fight you had, but that hair looks like it was cut that way, girl. That does not look like somebody just pulled a good patch out and then the rest just fell out. It looks like you went somewhere, sat down, and said, please give me a buzz cut. Honey, you ain't fooling me. So she met this stylist in treatment, right, in prison. So they know each other from prison. And I was thinking, these ladies on this show keep in touch with their inside friends, don't they? Honey, inside friends is the nicest way I can say it. So she needed someone to talk to, so she went there. So then a lady was asking about Stan, and she was like, how old is he? She's like, oh, he's 65, and I thought it was going to be something, but Stan ain't ish, okay? He ain't talking about nothing. He ain't nothing himself. So she said she's going to talk to her parole officer to just see where it takes her because she does not want to be paroled to Stan's home. She got to find somewhere else to go because Stan is not budging. Yeah, you know what? I don't think y'all need to live together either. Stan is going to pull this again, okay? And quite frankly, you do not want to get caught in a crossfire and then end up back in prison. That's the last thing you want to do. So Stan is over there with his friend, and Stan said he would like to talk to her, so he calls her for a date do-over. Lisa, the lady was like, you're all done with this hair, okay? Lisa, this hair is horrendous. You look like the Cynthia doll from the Rugrats. Girl, what is wrong with you? You would have done better with the Party City wig. Child. Moving forward, Deontay shows back up at the shop, right, with a wardrobe change for Honey Boo Boo. And her friend runs an interference because she knows she's back there talking to Tia. See, that friend is shady, honey, can't be trusted. So she takes it and takes it back to Nicole, right? She's like, look at all of this. Change it to something. Girl, no, not a bath. Ugh. So she comes out in this red dress. He's drooling, as usual. She's like, you like my hair? Whole time he looking at this little dress. Now, I must say, Deontay, you picked out a cute little dress. Now, I ain't like it on Nicole, but it was cute. So he looking at her in her red dress. Baby Deontay said, slip on your red dress. Let your hair down. Shout out to Johnny Gill. She's like, look, my hair is up here. How does my hair look? Girl, flat, okay? So she's like, look, I went to jail at 18, so this has never been a thing for me. I've never been to a bar where I can actually drink legally, right? So then they get to the bar. Deontay runs up to the door to open it for her, and she's like, you better open the door. I don't like Nicole. I don't like her. I don't like her. She really thinks she is a real life Barbie. Girl, you are one of those Dollar Tree Barbies at best. Child, so then Derek shows up, right? So he said, look, I invited Derek so that he could meet the famous Nicole. He really thinks Nicole is a star. Oh my God. He said he's going to ask, 1,000,001 questions, but he's just a hater. He just mad because look what I got. Who wouldn't be jealous? Aww, Deontay, just as oblivious as he wants to be. But let me tell y'all something. If my man don't stand for me like Deontay and this con artist, I don't want it. Do y'all hear me? I don't want it. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. But Deontay, what you have is not a star, okay? She's an Arrested Development con shim artist. Just so we're clear. I'm starting to feel bad for him a little bit because he really thinks they're a thing. Like she has convinced him that they're a thing. But next episode, that mama gonna let it be known, you ain't fooling me. I know that's right, mama. So Derek starts with the questioning, which I'm sure she's used to. And he's like, number one, what are your intentions for my friend? She's like, what are my intentions? Honey, I'm not sure if she knows what intentions are. Let's move on. She's like, I love him and I don't care who doubts it. Derek said, y'all been together in the free world for 3 days. I got a lot of questions. So then her little friend chimes in. So she's like, she talked about him every day in jail. Yes, I'm pretty sure she did, about how much money he was sending and what a simp he is. I know she did. So Derek said, I don't believe either one of you. I know that's right, y'all. Derek is so smart, honey. I wouldn't trust either one of them as far as I can throw them. And I couldn't pick them up, so I wouldn't trust them. Now, this is the part that seems staged to me. Okay, because I've been watching Love After Lockup for a while. And this part right here just seemed completely staged. So all of a sudden, she starts looking around, right? Now, why would you look for someone that did not confirm that they're coming? So she starts looking around. He's like, who you looking for? She's like, oh, I'm not looking for nobody. She's like, I'm looking for my friend Tia. She may come. He said, oh, I don't know Tia. Who's Tia? So then Derek, out of nowhere, says, have you slept with her? Now, this is my thing. What would make him just ask her that? Like, I wouldn't automatically assume she slept with a woman. I would just think it's just a friend. We TV, let me find out y'all scripts ain't scripting, child, because I'm watching y'all. So she's like, I got to go to the bathroom. Y'all are asking too many invasive questions. Deontay was like, nah, you going to answer this question. Ooh, not Deontay got a little bass in his voice. Honey, that NWA tattoo coming to life. Derek said, oh, so Tia got you with a strap on. She was like, no, she ate my Hello Kitty. Honey, TMI, okay? Ugh. He's like, are you serious? She's like, it was only one time. He said, but I can't even touch it and can't. Okay. Nicole Jr. get more action than she does, child. She was like, I was in prison. So Deontay said, she told me, this is what he's saying in the confessional. She told me that they weren't allowed to touch in prison. Well, Deontay, I told you on review number 1 that she was lying, honey. She's a bold-faced lie. So Derek said, well, how many chicks you screw in prison? Nicole hit him with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let him go again. Girl, how many? Okay, we just need to know how many. Honey, he said, well, dang, she got to multiply by 3 and carry the 1. She was hitting him with a, okay, 7 times 3. Okay, that's 21 divided by 6. Okay, that prison guard didn't count because it was just only once. And then I was like, girl, what is happening? She was like, no, it was only 6 and I was in a relationship with 4 of them. Child, okay. So her friend was like, but she wants you now. Hush, heifer. You just there for the free TGI Fridays because we know she gonna make him pay for it. You are the one that encouraged her to call Tia in the first place. So I ain't trusting you. I'm just like Derek, honey. I got my eye on you. So they asked when was the last time she had sex with a female. And she got up and left, right? And she goes outside to call her. Here comes Big D, because I'm changing his name to Big D in this moment because they're about to have this staged fight. Because you cannot convince me otherwise. I want y'all to go back. Watch that little part of the episode and tell me if you don't see the smirks on their faces and if it didn't look staged. In that moment, everybody at that table seemed like actors. Now, I don't know if this is true, But all I'm saying is, now all of a sudden, Deontay got an OnlyFans. Child, let's keep going. He's like, who the F you talking to? She's like, I'm talking to my friend. He was like, oh, the friend that you had sex with? She said, it was before you. He said, well, so why is it so hard for you to spend the night with me? Because she wants the sugar daddy with no sugar, honey. She wants a Splenda daddy. Oh my God, Deontay, keep up. So she's like, it makes me uncomfortable. He's like, but you ain't uncomfortable when you spending my money. Oh, and isn't. Okay, Big D. Okay, and his little NWA tattoo. Baby, they piping up tonight. So then, over on the other side, Brittany and her outre Nisha wig are on the phone with Ray Ray. Girl, you don't put this wig in a ponytail? Child, I don't have time for this. I really do not have time to play with Brittany. So he's telling her he's getting out tomorrow, right? She's like, yeah, he's been in there for 2 months. Well, dang, that time flew, honey. He was just in that last episode and now he getting out. She said, you know, he can go outside, but only in the backyard. So for 2.5 months, he's going to be only in the house. And she's like, oh, you're going to be only in the house with me? So then she says, what woman wouldn't enjoy their man being on home confinement? Honey, we all enjoyed it. It was called COVID quarantine lockdown. And after a while, we wanted to claw their eyes out. So good luck. So then she said, it's been 1.5 years and I haven't had sex. So she said they would have phone sex and she would have a ring light so he could see it better. Girl, not you shining a light on your vagina on a recorded line. How long were these calls? And child, how did you get how did y'all do a FaceTime thing? Honey, I have so many questions. Child, somebody comment down below if you know how you have a video face call. Child, I don't even know what to call it. Child, just tell me how you do what they doing when they doing it in prison. Child, you never need that much spotlight on the vagina unless you're on an operating table or getting a pap smear. Girl, goodbye. So he asked her if her parents were coming over, right? But they aren't because she lying all y'all. Sure, it's just a mess. So she's like, am I the only person that's coming to get you by myself? He's like, yeah, you're the only one. Well, honey, that's what you think. Over at Doug's house, him and Rachel are getting ready to break the rules, and he wants to go surprise his family the day before Father's Day, which will be a Saturday because we all know that Father's Day and Mother's Day falls on a Sunday, right? He's not supposed to be out on the weekends. Let's keep that in mind. Rachel is like, did you learn nothing in those 10 years? Honey, not a thing. So you're going to break the law on camera? Okay, got it. He said he does what he wants when he wants to do it. Child, he gonna end right back up in there. Child, I give him a good year, okay? And I'm just giving him a year to be nice. Rachel feels like he's playing with fire. She's like, I'm nervous. I'm seeing a different side of him. This is insane. No, you're not seeing a different side of him. He showed you that side when he called you and he was yelling at you when you was showing off that baloney. This man is unstable, okay? He gives low-key, high-key abuse vibes. The way he yelled at his sister a little later on in this episode, Rachel, you're next. If you don't do exactly what he says do when he says do it, it's going to be a problem. And little Dougie might be in the line of fire as well. Child, he is a loose cannon. So Dougie is like, when they get in the car, he's like, you guys seem stressed. Well, they should be because your dad is waiting to go back to jail, honey. If somebody pulls this car over, he is going down. So Rachel said as they're going that she's been around his family before. And she used to take Doug Jr. to visit them. And she's like, we come from 2 different sides of the tracks. Y'all do come from 2 different worlds. So then they make it to the house and Doug gets out to surprise his dad. But then we flash over to Anissa, still delusional, driving to her destination. And she's like, yeah, Jeff has been in there for 2.5 weeks, but he called me and told me he had a day pass and he has to go to a specific location and he got to be back in 3 hours, right? They're supposed to meet at a men's store so she can dress him up like a doll or whatever she's doing to him. So she said, we can probably have sex in the dressing room. Anissa, I wish I would catch you and Ghost, aka Jeff, in the men's warehouse dressing room getting it on. Girl, ugh. So she's standing there waiting and he calls her and he's like, I can't come today. My ankle bracelet is in the shop or whatever he said. He said something like that. Whatever the day's lie was, he told it to her. So this is my thing. He used Anissa for a ride to that halfway house, honey, and a little bit of money so he can go out and do what he wants to do. She might not ever see Jeff again. Not in the flesh anyway. Sure, if she gonna sit around and wait on him, she'll be waiting a long time. Anissa, honey, just let it go. He's using that time to see somebody else. You cannot convince me otherwise. After all that, okay, after all this, she's going to drop off essentials for him on a picnic table. Okay, Yogi Bear. Child, you're being used. Honey, where is Kyle? So she said she hasn't gotten laid in 6 years and she thought today was going to be the day. Well, you better call Deontay and ask where you can buy a Jeff Jr., honey, because you ain't getting none of the real Jeff. Moving forward. Brittany is getting her makeup done and she's over there telling her sister about her home confinement with her man. Girl, stop bragging about that, child. We all went through that. It was from the month of March till June. Child, goodbye. So she's on her way to get him. Night turns into day and she finally gets there and here comes Grandma. Child, Grandma says she going to get Ray Ray today. I know that's right, child. Brittany is in competition with the grandmother. Honey, you'll never win. She said Ray never mentioned his grandma was coming. Honey, the same way you didn't mention to him that your parents do not approve of your relationship. Your whole thing is built on a lie. Over on the other side, Stan leaves his white refrigerator for the night to meet Lisa for dinner to apologize and try to get her to come back to that dungeon a little bit later on. Lisa and these extensions show up. I'm like, girl, all you hear are those horseshoes stomping. I can't. I'm like, girl, pick your feet up. Child, oh my God. She was not pleased when she sat down, child. She's like, when you heard my son calling, you acted like it was nothing. She said, you talked to me like I was a dog. Now, how you gonna change it? He said, well, Lisa, I won't get 2 hours of sleep, drive 500 miles and drink wine afterwards. I was so excited to see you. I didn't get any sleep. That wasn't me. That was just me that night. No, Stan, you and your toupee always act like that. Okay, that's not new. So you're saying sleep deprivation caused you to act a fool? Okay, Stan. She said, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, and I really feel like he has a good heart, so I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Lisa just there for the free steak, child. So she said, I spent the night at a hotel, and you're going to reimburse me. He's like, that's okay, that's fine. She said, you can't just walk into my world, because obviously this doesn't work, right? So then he going to say to her, child, this is the part that tripped me out. He said, yeah, let's talk about it in a more comfortable setting. She's like, what is a comfortable setting? He was like, my place. Girl, Stan don't care nothing about what you talking about. His horny behind just wants sex in that straitjacket. Back over here with D&B, Deontay and Barbie, they're continuing to argue. She's like, I would be with you even if I didn't get money from you, even if you didn't spend all that money on me. He said, yeah, right. Well, honey, I'm glad you know, okay? She's running games, saying what she thinks you want to hear. She probably mad as hell. She got to pretend to care. Baby, she got some follow through if she don't got nothing else. So he's like, well, what I got to do to get you to spend a night with me? Okay. I think I got the answer. Either change your name to Zach or grow a vagina. Honey, it's either one of those. So they get ready to leave because they come back in after they said they didn't want to fight with each other anymore. They come back in, they're getting ready to leave. She's like, nice to meet you, Derek. Next time, maybe we can meet on a more mature level. He was like, oh, well, you'll be gone in 2 months, so it's cool. She's like, no, in 3 years, I'll still be here. And won't. Child, this is just a side note. More episodes with Derek. Let's keep going. They get to Deontay's house, right, y'all? Child, let me tell y'all something. They sit down on his couch and she puts her legs over his lap, right? So he's like, come over here to your man. She's like, what? He's like, come over here. She's like, come over where? Girl, get on over there. So they start kissing and he puts her on his lap. She gonna say, I have on a dress, Deontay. Girl, did you forget you just showed us your entire behind last episode? Remember the dance for you routine? Remember that? Girl. He's like, sit on my face. I'm hungry. Yuck. Okay. Y'all know, let me tell you, oh my God. Y'all know he almost makes me throw up in my mouth each and every time. Okay. She ain't even bathed today. She went straight out from that salon. You don't want to catch food poisoning from that raw tuna. Talking about you hungry. Boy, goodbye. She's like, I'm not ready. Child, she will take prison head over yours. Okay, let it go. Honey, let it go. But then again, okay, to her defense, with them big chompers you got, you would tear her insides up. She's trying not to have a hysterectomy. She ain't had no children. So she don't want no problems. She's like, I'm going to sleep in the guest room and you're going to sleep in your room. She's like, I really am attracted to him, though. He has beautiful teeth and beautiful eyes. Girl, his eyes scream creepy and his teeth do not move. Okay, I know your teeth aren't supposed to move, but y'all know what I mean. Child, oh my God, this is just a mess. So he goes into the room to get Nicole Jr. while she crouches down in her thong to talk to her ex. Child, this can't be real. It just can't be. This has got to be scripted. You cannot tell me that this man is this crazy. And then you took all your clothes off to lay down. Honey, you better lock that door if you're going to sleep in that thong, or you're going to wake up to you, him, and Nicole Jr. having a threesome. I said what I said, and I ain't changing it. Oh, child. Back at Doug's people's house, everybody is happy to see him, child. He got to see his brothers and his dad was, he has failing health, so he's trying to see him, before something happens, right? Everything was sweet until it wasn't. So they're having a whole family reunion. His mom wants no parts because she cannot be bothered with Doug because he has made her mad. Okay, he probably did something, ain't no telling. And him and his dad are kind of having a heart to heart. And when they were talking, he was like, Rachel's a good girl. You better keep her. This is what I was thinking. I feel like Doug's family likes Rachel because she's his meal ticket. Because he took off on this moped, right? And so as they're riding, she got on the back of it and she said something about, you better not have a wreck or something like that, or I'll take away your allowance. And I'm like, allowance? Child, he is using her. And then last episode, he said something about his lottery life. Child, this is a mess. So anyway, the daddy wants him to stay with the meal ticket. So then Doug's sister starts mentioning something about Doug Jr. having letters in the house or whatever saying that his life was bad. Well, I don't think that you should have disclosed that. That's just like him writing in a journal. His life is not what it should be at his age. For a 12-year-old, he has gone through a lot. How about you be quiet and keep that to yourself? And he's like, please don't talk about that. If you say anything about that, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. And he was visibly embarrassed. And you just going to continue on. So then his other sister said, Ashley was terrible to your son. And so Doug was like, she's hard on him because she wants him to make something out of himself. She's the only one that kept him. And she's like, I couldn't keep him because I'm a felon, or I think she had a record or something like that. So he starts going on, and they're going back and forth. And he's like, shut up, bitch. I'm like, oh my God. And at the same time, Doug Jr. is getting upset and Rachel is consoling him. And that was the end of the episode. I'm like, somebody, child, let me tell you something. Doug Jr., Rachel, and Doug, people are watching this. Okay? Do not have CPS getting involved in your son's life unnecessarily. You might not should have gone on this show. Maybe this is not the right fit for you. This is some foolishness. And then next episode, Deontay mama gonna get Nicole all the way together. And I am here for it. Please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down below and tell me what you thought about tonight's episode. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.